The FBI continues to investigate another apparent assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump. And a U.S. Special Envoy arrives in Israel today to hold talks aimed at preventing a war between Israel and Hezbollah. Good morning, I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. Local prosecutors in Florida are working on a warrant for the suspect wanted in the apparent attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Trump was not hurt. Secret Service agents opened fire on the suspect when they saw the barrel of a rifle poking out of bushes at Trump's Florida golf course. The suspect fled and was later apprehended by police. NPR's Danielle Kurtzleben says the Trump campaign was the first to alert the public something had happened.
Trump was definitely communicating with supporters. There were emails sent out, but also by last night, if you went to the Trump campaign website, you got a message reading in part, "Fear not," all caps, "I am safe and well," followed by donation buttons.
NPR's Danielle Kurtzleben reporting. Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, is standing by his falsehoods that Haitian migrants are eating pets in Springfield, Ohio. Ohio Republican Governor Mike DeWine called the claims, quote, garbage. Vance told CNN if he has to, quote, create stories so that the media pays attention, then he would do that. Since the lies spread, Springfield schools, hospitals, and municipal buildings have gotten numerous threats. Early voting begins in more states this week. NPR's Hansi Wang says Election Day in the U.S. is 7 weeks from tomorrow.
November 5th may be Election Day, but it's also the last day of voting in states including Virginia, Minnesota, and South Dakota, where widespread early voting is set to kick off this week. Voters in Virginia and Minnesota can cast their ballots in person as soon as this Friday. It's also when voters in South Dakota who can't make it to a polling place on November 5th can start voting by absentee ballot. In Alabama, absentee ballots started going out in the mail last week. There's still time for eligible voters to get registered for this fall's general elections. Federal law requires states to keep registration open until at least October 6. Election officials and community groups around the country are trying to encourage more eligible voters to sign up by marking National Voter Registration Day on Tuesday. Hansi Wang, NPR News.
U.S. Special Envoy Amos Hochstein arrives in Israel today. He's in the region to hold talks aimed at preventing a war between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. Tensions between the two continue to rise. NPR's Kat Lonsdorf has more from Tel Aviv.
Hochstein is expected to meet with several Israeli leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, an Israeli official told NPR. The official spoke anonymously, in line with protocol. This visit comes after Netanyahu reaffirmed his commitment over the weekend to returning displaced Israelis to their homes in the north, saying, quote, the current situation will not continue. He went on to say, quote, a change in the balance of forces on the northern border is required. Also, over the weekend, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant spoke with U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, saying that the possibility of a diplomatic solution with Hezbollah is, quote, passing. Israel and Hezbollah have been firing back and forth since the start of the war in Gaza last October. Kat Lonsdorf, NPR News, Tel Aviv.
You're listening to NPR News from Washington.